Hi, handsome George. How you doing, buddy? You're so pretty. You're such a handsome young man. Would you like a little treat? Hi, BookTube! My name is Sarah, and welcome to my channel, Reading Category Romance, and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. Happy Sunday, everybody. Today is the 8th of February, and it is later in the day. It is almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I have an hour until I jump into reading sprints, so I really want to try and get my video for today up. Like, I already posted the vlog. That I edited and did this morning. And then we had to run to the grocery store, and then I had to eat lunch, and finally now I'm sitting down to do some filming. Plus I had to do some bonus filming because what I've been doing is because I haven't been having to go anywhere. I've been filming the day of, excuse me. But tomorrow, pardon me, I've been drinking carbonated beverage. Sorry. I have a hospital appointment, my first one in over a week. So I have to go to the hospital tomorrow. So I knew I wasn't going to get a chance to film. So I did my weekend review and my Valentine's Day video for tomorrow. So I'll edit those later. I can even edit those tomorrow, but I just know I'm not going to feel well enough to sit down and actually film a video. So that's what I did. Today's been pretty quiet, other than just editing and stuff. It's still super duper ludicrously cold out. It's like negative 35 or something. So we ran to the grocery store super quick to pick up a couple things, to actually pick up dinner for tonight and tomorrow night, and my lunch for today and tomorrow, because we do not want to go back out tomorrow. So the only thing I have to do tomorrow is go to the hospital, and then I can come home and I can relax and rest, because I usually need to after I get this TAP procedure done. We're having frozen pizza tonight for dinner, which I'm very excited about. Tomorrow night is do our own thing night. I'm going to be doing macaroni and cheese. And for lunch, my new hyperfixation for lunch, because I go through these and I'm like, I want this for like 3 weeks and then I want something completely different. Tell me I'm not the only one who does this. But my new hyperfixation is crackers, Triscuit crackers. I was good and bought the low sodium ones. Don't know how much of a difference that's going to make, but I did buy them. Also cheddar cheese, the Cracker Barrel squares that you can get. I cut them into 4s and it perfectly fits on top of a Triscuit cracker. And then some deli meat turkey, which low sodium deli meat turkey. I try to do as low sodium as best possible. What it's missing is pickles. I need pickles with it. But I do have my vegetables and some dip and stuff like that, some hummus dip. So that's my hyperfixation lunch currently. An adult lunchable, as I like to call it. And it's been yummy. So Sunday, I have finished a book already today, you guys. I finished reading Kristy and the Snobs by Ann M. Martin. This is the 11th book in the Babysitters Club series. And I like this one a lot. I gave it 4 stars. This one always, always, always makes me cry. No matter how many times I'm going to read this one, it will always make me cry. Spoiler alert, they have to put down their dog Louis because he's old, and it's not like a sudden death of the pet. Like it's very humane, very, they made the right decision basically, but it's still very, very difficult for anyone who has ever loved and lost an animal. You know the pain that is like. So yeah, so I finished that today and I've done no other reading. So thankfully we're doing sprints tonight, so I have lots of time to do some reading. But I am going to go ahead and get my video edited for the Valentine's Day for today and get that posted. And I'll worry about editing the other 2 videos tomorrow. As long as I got them filmed, that's good enough for me. I am a little annoyed, or I was a little annoyed, because in my vlog, so my vlog for this week, for the week that just passed, was an hour and 16 minutes long. Within that hour and 16 minute vlog, there was 10 seconds of a Morgan Wallen song. Now I was watching the video and I took video of my TV, 10 seconds. I got a violation on that, on 10 seconds of something embedded within an hour and 16 minute long video. I wouldn't have cared, it's like, oh, it can't be monetized. I don't care. If that's the case, so be it. But what bothered me is it said it couldn't be shown in certain regions. And I'm like, what? So what I did was I went back in and I just removed the sound from that section. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Whatever. But anyway, I guess me singing a couple lines of the song seemed to be fine, but if Morgan does it, it's a problem. But anyway, I had to fix that, so that was a giant pain. That took time this morning, so it was what it was. Again, I wouldn't have cared. I would have let it go with no monetization. However, the fact it couldn't be shown in certain countries is what really bothered me. So anyway, so I did go ahead and fix it. But anyway, guys, that is all that I have for right now. I will probably check in again later. Bye, guys. Hello, friends. It is just before 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and I wanted to pop in because I just finished today's story in the Meet Cute book. And guys, I loved this one so much. This was called Oomph by Emery Lord. This was so cute. It was about a girl who went to the airport, like she's at the airport to come home. She spent spring break in New York. She's going to be going to NYU in the fall, so she's a senior. And she meets another girl, and they spend the whole time chatting, and they, like, you know, it's a big joke at the beginning that they kind of use these fake names and all these things. And it was super, super cute at the end that they, like, exchanged numbers. I really, really loved it. I thought it was so, so adorable. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like, again, that's another one that I could have absolutely seen been a full-length book. Like, that would have just been the prologue, and then maybe it would flash forward a year, and now they're at NYU or in New York together or something. Absolutely adorable. I need to read Emery Lord's books now. Have any of you read her? Do let me know. But anyway, I just want to pop that in. Hi BookTube! Happy Monday! Today is the 9th of February and it is just before 9 o'clock. It's about 8:45 in the morning and I am parked in the parking garage downtown. I'm at the hospital. Yay! No, not really. But I'm here for the glare of the glass, the glare of the lights. But anyway, I am here. I left about 7:30 this morning. And I took the highway. I generally don't take the highway, but last time it was such a pain to get down here. I kept getting rerouted and it added like 25 minutes to my time and I was almost late. So I'm like, just take the highway. You know it's a mess, but at least it's a controlled mess. Like, you know it's going to be a mess and it's the same thing all the time unless there's something crazy that happens. But anyway, so I'm sorry I didn't update again last night. I did finish a book yesterday, guys. I finished reading Meet Your Baker by Ellie Alexander, the first book in the Bake Shop Mixed Mystery series, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm very much looking forward to continuing on with the series. I believe the second book is I think it takes place in the fall. I don't think it's Halloween, but I think it takes place in the fall. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting to that. But I did make the executive decision last night, and I've said this in previous vlogs, and you guys are going to be like, let's see if she does it. I am going to try to contain myself to like 2 books. A category romance book and a cozy mystery. And try and, and one at a time of each. I mean, also a Babysitter's Club book, but that's nothing really big deal. Plus this week I'm going to be finishing off reading Meet Cute, the book by the various authors. So I'll have 4 books on the go instead of like 10, but after this week it'll be down to 3. And I really like the Babysitter's Club book. Like, I read 3 chapters a day. It's not that big a deal. So right now I'm concentrating on, and I should actually finish today, their Unbreakable Bond by Deb Kastner, which is the love-inspired novel. I actually brought my Kindle with me because I have that on Kindle, and I'm hoping to get some reading done on it. Maybe while I'm getting my procedure done. I don't know. We'll see. But I also have my earbuds with me, so I can potentially finish listening to Death by Dumpling by Vivien Chien. Now, I just drove here for an hour and change, but I wasn't in the mood for audio this morning, so I listened to some music. But if I don't listen to it while I'm getting my procedure done, I'm definitely going to be listening to it on the drive home. That's my plan. But anyway, guys, I got to get in there, and let's go in. The quicker we get this in, the quicker we get in, the quicker we get this done. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hello friends, it is about 4:30 in the afternoon, and sorry if you can hear water running in the background. Garrett's up here on the second floor. He's having his shower. Anyway, yeah, it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. It is still Monday. I got home from the hospital about 1 o'clock, and I had my lunch, my new hyperfixation lunch. Did I talk about this? I don't know if I did, but I cannot wait to go to the grocery store tomorrow, because Garrett even said the same thing. Like, for him, this is a snack. For me, it's a meal. Crackers, Triscuit crackers. I might get the cracked black pepper tomorrow. And turkey, like deli turkey, some cheese, And tomorrow we're going to get pickles, which I can't wait. Plus, I also had today, I didn't have pickles because I didn't have any, but I had celery with some hummus. So I still plan on having some, like, vegetables other than pickles, because pickles, yes, it's a vegetable because it was at one point a cucumber before you pickled it, but I need some proper, not covered in salt vegetables. So yeah, so that is my new hyperfixation lunch right now. I love the simplicity of it, and like I jokingly said, it's like an adult Lunchable, and I love it. But yeah, so that's what I had for lunch, and then I had a bath, because, and I know I'm not supposed to, you know, I jokingly actually said to the nurse, I said, I do have a bath when I go home in the afternoon. She kind of waved her finger at me, because they go in through your side, and it's a small, like, it's not an incision, like it's a sorry for those of you who are squeamish, it's a needle that goes in, a slightly thicker gauge needle that goes in. You're completely frozen, so you don't feel it. You feel the freezing part of it, though, let me tell you. But they cover it with two different, like, there's like a medicinal or human grade, she called it a human grade Gorilla Glue. So it's like it's a skin glue or something like that. And then she puts a legit like Band-Aid and all the things over it, right? And I always tell her, I'm like, I try not to let the water cover. It's just, my body is just so tired after this. And for some reason, like, my muscles, like, are tired, and it just makes me feel better. And she understood what I was saying. So anyway, so she's like, I didn't hear you say anything. Like, basically, she wasn't condoning it. She just, like, pretend you didn't say anything to me. So I did have a bath, and then I had a little nap for about an hour or so. So that was lovely. But I wanted to update you guys on my reading, because on the way home from the hospital, I finished listening to Death by Dumpling by Vivien Chien. So I gave this book 5 stars. It is my one of my favorite cozy mystery series. Again, I've read this one, reread it a number of times. I absolutely love it. I will talk more about it, give you my full thoughts on Monday when I do my weekend books video. But yeah, needless to say, I loved it, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So I started listening to it, like, you know, when I got in the car, when I was pulling out of the parking garage, and literally it said, like, the end as I was pulling into my driveway. It was perfect. The timing of it was perfect. So super, super happy I have that one. That is my 3rd book now for the week, guys, and it's Monday. Like we were saying, the dominoes are going to fall in terms of books. This is going to be a domino book week, if you will, because my next book that I'm going to be picking up is their Unbreakable Bond by Deb Kastner. Guys, I have 2 chapters left in that one. I'm going to finish that one, like, before I make my dinner. That's my game plan. Right now, I'm editing video. I edited and uploaded my video for today. I'm behind on it. Usually I try and put that video up by 3 o'clock, but unfortunately, with me going to the hospital today and all those things, I just didn't get it done. And now I'm going to edit and upload my Valentine's Day video for today, which wouldn't take me very long at all, because they're very short videos. So yeah, but then I'm gonna do my reading, and finish that book. So that'll be like 4 books for the week. But then I'll be kind of like starting, like, those were the books that I was like, that, like, the books that I'm talking about. Oh, I need to read my bit of the Babysitters Club book too. Maybe I'll start there. I think I'll do that first, so we can kind of get that out of the way, if you will. But I am hosting reading sprints tonight, so I will definitely be getting some reading done tonight. But the next book I have to work on after this one, because like I said, it'll be 1 category and 1 cozy at a time. I'm starting a new cozy because I don't have any on the go now. I'll talk about that one a little bit later when I do start it. But I will be continuing on with her Sexy Vegas Cowboy by Olson. I'm only about halfway through that one, so that one should still take me another couple of days to get through. So I might finish another couple books this week. We shall see how it goes. But I knew, like, at the beginning of the week it was going to be a lot, because I was super close in finishing, like, a whole bunch of books. Not a whole bunch, but, like, the last 4 books I knew I was super close in finishing. So exciting on that one. But I also did another little bit of reading while I was while I was exporting my video. So I'm going to turn the camera around just because this book is too heavy for me to hold up. So hold on just 1 second. So I finished today's short story in the Meet Cute book, and this was the one by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the only author that I recognize the name. And this one was so cute. It's called The Dictionary of You and Me. And it was basically about a girl who works at the library part-time. She's a senior in high school. And there is a dictionary of all things that is, like, you know, 4 months late, like, with no late fines or anything, but it's just 4 months late. So when she comes in for her shift, she calls the people who like have like their books are late. And so she calls and she thinks it's an older gentleman, and it turns out it's a boy from school. It was so cute. I'm actually keeping track of like my favorite stories in the book. And this is now ranking at number 2. The story that I just read is my second favorite. So when I eventually do my full review from this one, which will be this coming Monday, speaking of books I'm going to finish this week, because the last story I will read will be on Saturday, I will talk mostly about my favorite stories in the book, and the book overall. So yeah, but anyway, I got that reading done as well. But I'm going to go get my Valentine's Day video edited for today, read my part of the Babysitters Club book, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Today is the 10th of February, and it is actually 5 o'clock at night, and this is the first time I'm checking in for the whole day. And I have not checked in since late yesterday, so I do apologize for that. I have not been feeling that great today. Yesterday's procedure took a toll on me, and I was feeling okay last night, and I was doing this. I was hosting sprints, and I finished my book that I was reading. I was reading Their Unbreakable Bond by Deb Kastner, and I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, super, super cute. Full review of that coming up on Monday in my Weekend Books video. But then I started some new books. I can't do the 2-book thing, guys. I really, really can't. I can't do just like a single category and a single cozy. Not now, for some reason. I've just really fallen into this enjoyment of having like a ludicrous amount, if you will, of books on the go. And I'm perfectly okay with that. And I'm really enjoying it. If it means it takes me a week or more to get through a book, so be it. That's the situation. But I started a couple new books last night, and I may have started another one just now that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But I got up this morning and my sides were really sore. Like my muscles in my stomach were really sore. I think it was from the procedure and stuff like that yesterday. That all went well. I mean, everything went fine. They did get some fluid off me, which was good because I don't go back again until next Wednesday. So it used to be like every week. Now it's like every 10 days. And I think even after Wednesday, like next week when I book it again, I think I might try and go like 12 days. I know it doesn't sound like a lot more, like you're bumping another 2 days onto the time frame, but every little bit that we can push it out is better. But I think because it had been longer than normal, like my body was like not used to it or whatever. So I ended up taking some Tylenol and stuff like that. Then we went to the grocery store and picked up a bunch of stuff. We mostly got lunch related stuff. We didn't buy anything for dinner because today was payday. Today I got my money. So we decided to treat ourselves that tonight we're going to have takeout for dinner. We're going to do a 2 can dine coupon for a local burger place. And I'm very excited about that. I've been looking forward to having a burger from there for a while. But takeout food is just so expensive now. But again, I shopped the deals, and a 2 can dine, I think, and it was like $16 for like 2 burgers, 2 fries, and 2 drinks. So that's, I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. And it's Harvey's, Harveys. And I always have to spell that out because I know in the US you guys have Hardee's, but this is Harvey's and it's a Canadian chain. And I think it was Will Arnett was on a podcast, or I think it was that Hot Ones show or something like that. I saw a news article about it in the paper that he was on that show, and I guess they asked him about food. And he called Harvey's like the Cadillac of burgers because it is hands down. I would take Harvey's any day over McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, any of those burger places. It is the absolute best. And they have the best veggie burger. Like, legitimately, it tastes just like their beef burger. And when I was full-time vegetarian, I used to get it all the time. And I'm not going to get tonight. Tonight I'm going to get like the proper beef burger. But, you know, as I was saying in my last vlog, I do want to slowly start migrating back over to a more vegetarian diet. So if we get it again, I might go for the veggie burger. But yeah, but anyway, so we're going to do that for dinner tonight. I am feeling better now, now that the day's gone on. I took a Tylenol this morning, like I said, and then I took another one early this afternoon at like 3 o'clock. So just a couple of hours ago, I took another couple Tylenol, and now I'm feeling much, much better. So I think it's whatever it is has dissipated. So that is a good thing. But I have done some reading today. Excuse me. So I finished that book last night, and then I think the thing is, the reason I'm having like a hard time, if you will, just sticking to like 2 books, is that I'm so used to now finishing a book and wanting to immediately start another book. So, and when you already have so many books on the go, but anyway, it's fine. So, this morning, I read a little bit last night. Like, I started 2 new books last night, but I'll share that with you guys later. Like, when I read them now, like, when I hopefully get to them today, because it's 5 o'clock, and I've only just done a little bit of reading today. I've been mostly resting and relaxing. I didn't film any video today. I posted something on my community tab saying, like, usually I do my 2 on Tuesday video, and my countdown to Valentine's Day videos, and I just was not feeling it today. So tomorrow on Wednesday, I had another video planned, but I'm going to push that. That's a video I can do at any time. It was just kind of like a fun spotlight type video. So I might do that later in the month or even sometime in March. We shall see. But I'm going to do my 2 on Tuesday tomorrow. So it's going to be a day late, but that's okay. And then I'm also going to do today's and tomorrow's countdown to Valentine's Day video. So you're going to get like 2 in 1, or you will have already gotten the 2 in 1. Hopefully, by the time I do that. So yeah, so that is my plan for tomorrow. But anyway, back to reading. So this morning I read, I am 40% of the way through Claudia and the New Girl by Ann M. Martin. And in this one, a new girl moves to town, and she is very artsy, and she thinks Claudia should be spending more time concentrating on her art and less time with the Babysitters Club. So that's the conflict in this book, and I am enjoying it. I am listening to this one on audio. It's the last one I have on audio of, like, this first grouping, and I don't think I have any more until, like, book 20-ish, I think. But yeah, after this, I will be reading them with my eyeballs. And then I read... I'm so sorry, excuse me. Today's chapter in the Meet Cute book by various authors. It's over there. I can't remember the name of it now. Oh my gosh. And I can't remember who it was by. I will grab the book later and I will show you guys that. So I'm not going to talk about that right now. And then I started a new book just now. And I started Colton K-9 Cop by Addison Fox. This, I think, is the 8th book in one of the Colton series books, universe books. Now, here's my conundrum with this book. This is an intrigue novel, and every single Colton book that's, to my understanding, that's been published, has been published under the Harlequin romantic suspense line, not the Harlequin intrigue line. They are 2 different things. So this confuses me, the fact that this was published as intrigue and not romantic suspense. And it's not like Addison Fox is an intrigue author and hasn't written. She writes for romantic suspense. So I'm wondering, because the difference, like, this book's older. It's at least a decade old, I want to say. Back then, this has only been a more recent thing in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Intrigue has gotten spicier. Back in the day, intrigue used to be more of like a closed door type romance novel. So if there was adult content, it was always behind closed doors. Whereas romantic suspense has always been more open door romance. The other difference between the 2, I've talked about this before, but the other difference between the 2 is that intrigue always puts like the mystery first and the romance like second. The romance is a big part of the book, don't get me wrong, but it's like the mystery comes first. And then in the romantic suspense books, it's the opposite. The romance is always front and center, and the mystery is like second string. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if this one is a bit of a sweeter romance, like a closed door romance, and that's why they put it under intrigue. I don't know. I'm curious. I will report back to you guys as I continue on. I'm 14% of the way through it already. So basically, this is the story of a woman named Bellamy who works for a large pharmaceutical company in this small town in Texas. And she's worked there for like 13 years. So the story starts off, the prologue is 5 years earlier. And she's working in her parents' grocery store. This actually takes place over Christmas. Look at that cover. This book takes place over Christmas, you guys. I'm going to label it as a Christmas book when I labeled it in Goodreads, when I tag it in Goodreads. But this is a Christmas book. I would have never known. But it's not Christmas in your face. It's like it just happens to be leading up to Christmas time. Because they're talking about Christmas decorations. So in the beginning of the book, it's 5 years earlier, and she's working at her parents' little convenience store in this small town in Texas. And her parents have gone to some sort of event in town that they go to every year, and she agrees to work at the store so they can go to this event. But her normal 9-to-5 job is at this big pharmaceutical company, and she works in finance for the company. So while she's working, this cop from Austin comes in named Donovan, and he's a Colton. He's one of the Coltons. And he comes in with his little puppy, 10-week-old puppy, black lab that he's training. He's a K-9 cop. So the dog has eaten something. He ate his niece's Legos, and he got sick. So he comes in. He's like, "Do you have any chicken or something that I can feed the dog?" Because they also sell like things like hot food at this little convenience grocery type store. And Bellamy's like, "Oh, I can do you one better." You know, she's like, "I actually brought chicken for lunch that I'm not going to eat. The dog can have it." So they get to talking, and then he's just actually about to ask her out on a date because they'd been talking for like a half an hour while, you know, they were caring for the dog. And he gets a phone call and has to leave, and it turns out that the phone call, now he didn't know this at the time, or he doesn't know this as far as I know, is that he was called to the scene of a car accident that involved her parents. So now we flash forward 5 years, and her parents have passed away. So this is the first chapter that I just read. That was the prologue. And her parents passed away as results of the accident. And she's still working at this company. She's been there like 13 years now. She's like a stellar employee, constant raises, never caused a problem. And she's closing out a few last emails before she goes home for the day. And she reads this email, something about the fact that like they do flu vaccines and the fact that they're like jacking up the price on them. Like it's like an internal email that people weren't supposed to know. That, but talking about jacking up the price and making the quantity scarce and supply and demand kind of an idea, right? But you can't do that. You can't keep, you know, medicine away from people, right? Like hold it back in a way. So she's like, she didn't know where this came from. It was an internal email. It said it was no signature on it. So she decides to do what's right and take it to HR. Well, HR immediately fires her, thinking that because her, like, that she's trying to cause shenanigans, right? Like she made this up. Like I think the company knows what's going on, and she even calls them out on it. She's like, this is actually happening. This isn't BS. And they fire her. So that's just where we are at the book right now. So somehow Donovan's going to come into this as well. I think it's going to be really, really good. And I'm really liking it so far. So yay on that one. But yeah, so that's all the reading that I have done so far today. I just thought I'd give you guys a little update, but I will try and check in again, and I'll definitely check in again at some point about the other book that I've read. So that's about it for right now, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello, friends. It is, just about 6:30 at night. We've had dinner. It was so freaking delicious. And I just want to give you a quick update on what I read from this book earlier before I forget to do so. So today was day number, the 10th of the Meet Cute book. Only a few more of these left. I'm sad because this has been super enjoyable. But today's story was The Unlikelihood of Falling in Love by Jocelyn Davis. This one was really cute. It's about a girl who, I think it said she's a sophomore in high school, and she lives in New York City and ends up taking like the train or the subway, if you will, into school every day. And on her way in the one day, she happens to see a boy in a train going the opposite direction. And they spy each other, and she's like immediately, oh my gosh, he's cute. So she's in a statistics class, so she decides to, for her final grade, to do like the statistics of seeing, the potential of seeing this boy again, you know? So the story goes on that she's doing like all this research, and if she leaves at the same time, if she leaves later, if she leaves earlier, blah, 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 blah. It was really adorable. I liked it a lot. I am keeping track of my like 5 favorite stories in this book. And this one I think right now is going to land at number 5. I really enjoyed it. So yay. But yeah, so I just wanted to do a quick update on that one. I am going to go back to watching some YouTube. I'm watching Kara and Nate right now. I'm a couple weeks behind on my YouTube viewing, but they're doing 3 days camping on the Great Wall of China. If you guys have not watched Kara and Nate, they've been around for like a decade on YouTube, and they do travel videos. They're fantastic. I really, really enjoy them. So I'm enjoying watching this. Stuff that I would never myself do, but it's fun watching somebody else do it. Anyway, guys, I'll check in with you later. Hello, friends. It is about 7:15, and I'm coming to you with another quick reading update. I don't know if I'm going to update again tonight. Probably not, because I think I'm just going to maybe have another hot bath because, I'm just sore. My muscles are tired, and it'll be good to help me sleep. I'll update you guys tomorrow on what else I might read tonight. But I wanted to update you now on my reading because I did start another book last night, and I read a little bit more of it now. So I'm about 14% of the way through Detective Aunty by Uzma. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry, but she is a local Toronto author, and this book takes place in the city. It is so far fantastic. I am really, really enjoying it. I actually have the audio out from the library as well. I only have it on a 7-day. It's like one of those ones, it's like a skip the line loan or something like that on audio. Now I did start it last night on audio, but because all the characters in here are Indian, The accent of the narrator is just stunning, but I had to listen to it relatively slowly, pardon me, to pick up because of the accent, because of the words and things like that. I'm finding it easier to read with my eyeballs. So it is actually available on Kindle Unlimited as well as an ebook. So I borrowed it from KU and I'm reading it that way. So I'm about 4-ish chapters into it. So it's about our main character who gets a phone call one morning from her daughter in Toronto. The mother lives in North Bay, which is about 4-ish hours drive, depending on how fast you drive, north of Toronto. And, excuse me, her daughter works or owns a small business in this little local plaza. And the owner of the plaza is found murdered in her business, like in her clothing store, in the daughter's clothing store. So she calls her mom frantic, saying, "I need your help." So the mom has not been back to Toronto in 20 years because it's alluded to, but you don't know exactly what has happened. But her younger son died 20 years ago. And her husband ended up packing up and moving north. The 2 older children were in university or whatever the case may be. So they were doing their own thing. So the adults went to North Bay and she hasn't left since. Her husband passed away last year. Kassam is the female lead's name and the mother's name. And Sana is the daughter's name. And anyway, now she's back in Toronto for the first time in 20 years, trying to help her daughter with this murder investigation, or with this, she thinks that she's really happy the daughter called her. They don't have the best relationship. And she's very, very happy that the daughter called her, thinking, oh, she needs my help. I can assist. But it turns out, like, the daughter's being quite rude to her. She feels like she's keeping something from her. Like, there's more to the story than the daughter's saying. And there's something funny going on with the daughter's husband. He doesn't seem to be around. Like, she says he's traveling, but where is he? Why isn't he there? The daughter's basically stated that she only wants her mother there as, like, domestic help, if you will. Like, to look after her daughters and to kind of cook and clean while they're dealing with this mess or whatever it is. So that's where we are now, but the mother has decided that she's going to start investigating. So she's kind of talking to people, looking into things. I want to call this a cozy mystery in a way because it is an amateur sleuth, but I would consider this to be more cozy mystery adjacent, I think, much like the Thursday Murder Club. But it does definitely have that small town feel. So all the locations they're talking about, except for the plaza itself, is real. It takes place in the Golden Crescent section of Scarborough, Toronto, which is between Victoria Park and Dawes. I'm talking as if you all know the city of Toronto. North of the Danforth, stuff like that. Like, if you look it up, you can definitely see, like, there's it's a small area, very ethnic population in that area. I'm familiar myself with the area. I've driven through it numerous times. It talks about North Bay. It talks about her landing in Toronto and driving on the high. It's for a native Torontonian like myself, I'm very, very much enjoying the location of the story itself as well. And the small area that she's in is very much almost like a small town as well. And you get these pockets of the city that do almost become like little communities within themselves. Yes, you're in a city of 6 million people, but this little community becomes this little community where, like, she hasn't been back in 20 years and already she's been recognized twice. So it's a very, very small area that everybody knows and looks after everybody else. So anyway, so that's what I am currently reading. But like I said, I think I'm going to call it for the day for the vlog, and I will check back in with you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hello, my friends. It is Wednesday. It is the 11th of February, and it's after 6 o'clock. I think it's almost 6:30 at night. So this is my first time checking in today, so I do sincerely apologize. I thought I did it earlier, but I did not. I actually recorded a whole bunch of videos today because I did not do any recording yesterday. So I did yesterday's videos and today's videos all today. So I posted 4 videos today. It was crazy. They were all relatively short though. Like 2 of them were the countdown to Valentine's Day videos, which are like 3 minutes long. And then I think one was 7 minutes and one was 14. I think all in total, like all together, it was probably less than 25 minutes or so. But anyway, I did all of that, and I thought that I had recorded the little clip for today then, but I did not. Sorry, hold on. I just turned my TV. Anyway, so I have not done a ton of reading today. I did read my 3 chapters in the Babysitters Club book, and I think I'm 60% of the way through that one now. Claudia and the New Girl is the one that I am reading. And then I read my chapter today in the Meet Cute book, which is over there. It was okay. It's not going to be in my top 5. Like I think I've mentioned, I'm keeping track of my 5 favorite stories. This one, I can't remember who it was by. I'll share it tomorrow because the book's over there and I don't want to grab it. The author I wasn't familiar with the author or anything like that, but it was kind of I don't want to call it a sci-fi story because it really wasn't, but it was about a group of teens who are being chosen to go to Mars, and it's how these two people met, and the one ends up getting picked to go to Mars, and the other one does not, but it's like, you're gone for the rest of your life. Like, this is it. You're never, ever coming back. You're basically colonists, like you're, colonizing Mars, basically. And it was a meet cute, but they're never going to meet again. And I was talking to my friend Sock over at Bergen Counter Argument, because I was on her live show this afternoon. And she was like, this was before we went on the air, and she's like, well, maybe it's like the first part and the second part, the other one's going to go and blah, 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 blah. But the other thing is, it's like so unrealistic because like as if your parents are going to let you do that. Like, these are like 16, 17-year-old kids. Like, your parents can be like, yeah, okay, well, I'm never going to see you again. This is basically like, I'm signing your death certificate. See you later. Have a great time. Send us a postcard. It's never going to happen. But it was kind of fantastical. I appreciate the story idea. Like, I think of these sometimes like a creative writing exercise. Like, I could see, you being in school, like either it be college, university, or even high school, and your teacher being like, okay, here's the premise. Write a story. I used to love doing that when I was younger, when I took creative writing and when I took English in high school. I really, really enjoyed doing that. But anyway, so I read that, and then I just finished reading another 4 chapters, actually, because they're relatively short chapters, in the My Deadly Valentine book. I'm 30% of the way through the whole book right now, but I'm a little over halfway through the first story, by Valerie Hansen, and I have thoughts. So, basically, the premise of this one is about our main character, Rachel. She owns this card and gift shop in town, and she's getting sent threatening notes and packages, and this new deputy in town, his name is Jace, he's kind of like protecting her, and, she's not really at the very beginning taking it very seriously, but now it's becoming a lot worse. So, here's my issue. It's not with the story itself or anything like that. It's the fact that I find with the older love-inspired suspense novels, the characters can be very naive. And please, please do not take this the wrong way. But the characters who are devout tend to be a little bit more naive. And the ones who are not in law, even some of the ones in law enforcement, but not in this case. Because Jace is like from California and things are a lot different. Like, he's seen it all, done it all. He knows that there's bad people lurking out there, right? And anyway, so this story, I think it takes place in Arkansas. And she does mention the fact that, like, our female lead, Rachel, mentions the fact that they do live in the Bible Belt, okay? Which is fine, and I know things are done differently down there. They think differently, So the first thing is that her shop gets broken into and they mess with the heating system. So it's really, really hot and they go in and it's like cold time of year, so the heat's on. She's like, it's afraid, is it a wiring issue? Is it going to cause a fire? So of course the fire department comes and they fix it and they say, no, you're going to be fine, but we had to shut the heat off. So even though it's Arkansas, which is the South, it still gets relatively cold. So, like, they're wearing their coats outside because this takes place right around Valentine's Day, so it's like early February. And, she's like, we're opening the shop the next day. This was on a Sunday. Opening the shop the next day, she's like, me and Eloise, the other lady who works with her, we're going to be freezing cold until we can get the heater fixed. And he's like, call the AC guy, the heating and AC guy, right? The HVAC guy. She's like, well, they're closed. It's Sunday. So I remember back in the day when Sundays, everything was closed on Sundays. And actually, Garrett and I have had that conversation, and I don't dislike the idea. I actually really like the idea. I think that everybody should get a day off. But the thing is, it's like, where do you draw the line? Do you know what I mean? Like, then people will be like, well, but coffee shops have to be open, or but grocery stores have to be open, or but whatever, But obviously we were able to make it work way back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, clearly it was a thing that, you'd have a select few places open, maybe like a pharmacy for prescriptions, of course, medical personnel and the fire department and police. But I mean, those never close. But, you can, restaurants can close. You can spend a day not going to get your coffee. You can, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that part of it I didn't dislike. The part that got me was like, so to my understanding, regardless, there would be an emergency after hours for something like HVAC. Like, let's say it's the dead of winter, and your heating goes. Freeze to death until Monday? Like, that one I thought, okay, maybe that was a no for me. The other one was locksmith. She's like, well, I can't call a locksmith. They're closed. Okay, so someone has broken into your home. You need your locks changed. Nope, sorry, you can deal with it till Monday. Like, there's certain things I could understand if they're like, well, we can't go get any milk because the grocery store's closed. Okay, I totally get it. But I don't know. The other thing seemed relatively important. Maybe not matter of life and death, but with the heating. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. The other thing was, he takes her home, and he's concerned that, he wants her to check her house. She won't let him in her house. She's like, well, you can't come in my house. People are going to think things. They're going to think that something improper happened. He's a police officer. He's checking your house. It's not 1813. Like, again, it's the naivety that gets me in these old love-inspired suspense novels. I'm like, sweetie, relax. He can come in your house and look to see if somebody broke in or somebody's messed with your stuff. Calm down. What will my neighbors think? That you're being protected. Anyway. Just my few random thoughts on that. So anyway, that is it for right now, you guys. I'm probably going to do some more reading. I'm going to watch some booktube. I've had a relatively busy day. Like I said, I filmed those 4 videos. We didn't even go to the grocery store today. We ordered on Instacart what we needed. And we bought a frozen meal for dinner. And then we ended up ordering a pizza because that's how lazy Garrett and I felt today. He hasn't been feeling well. His body's really, really sore. He did a lot of snow shoveling yesterday and stuff like that. So, it's, he's not a young man anymore. He's starting to feel it. So he's been resting and taking Tylenol and with the heating pad and the whole 9 yards. So, and then of course I was in the live sprints with Sock for a couple of hours this afternoon, which was really, really fun. And now I'm going to relax and enjoy. And I got some more reading to do. So yay. But yeah, that's about it for now, you guys. I'll check in with you later. Bye. Hello, my friends, and happy Friday. Today is the 13th of February, and I did not check in at all yesterday. And I very much do apologize for that. I was really sick yesterday. I don't know what happened. I really think it was something I ate, because I did film videos yesterday morning, and I posted them yesterday. You will have seen them. My historical video went up that day, and my Countdown to Valentine's Day video went up. And I was feeling a little off in the morning, but not completely, not terribly, horribly off. And Garrett and I went to the grocery store, picked up a couple things, and we came home and I had lunch. And I did my editing on the videos, and then I started to feel so sick to my stomach. I literally lay here in bed for most of yesterday. I finally felt well enough last night to have some soup for dinner and some crackers, which was great. But that was really it. Yesterday was not a good day. I really do think it was something that I ate. Today, fantastic. I had breakfast this morning. I've had lunch. I'm actually having the rest of the soup that I didn't eat yesterday. Like, I put half of it away, and I'm having it as a mid-afternoon snack because I'm hungry today. Like, obviously, I barely ate anything yesterday. So I really do think it was just something I ate. So yeah, so we're much better today, which is great because I filmed a bunch of videos this morning. I am currently halfway through editing. I've done 2 of them and posted them. The other 2 are much shorter, much quicker, much easier to edit. So they're going to be done next. In terms of reading, since the last time I talked to you guys, yesterday I did do some reading, which is a good thing. I did some reading before I started to feel ill. I listened to a couple more chapters in Claudia and the New Girl by Anne M. Martin. And then this morning I finished it. So I did finish a book today. I gave it 3.5 stars. I'll talk more about it, of course, in full in my Monday, my weekend books video. So that's exciting. And I did read my chapter yesterday of the Meet Cute book, and I read my chapter today of the Meet Cute book, which is great. So that's pretty much an update on my reading to this point since literally the last time I talked to you guys. I am happy I did get some reading done yesterday, just because I was, I don't worry about it, but, I joke around about it. I know a lot of people don't care, but I am really all about my reading streak. And I decided to keep it since the 1st of January. So I had a nice arbitrary date. So since the 1st of January, I'm at 42 days, which is how many days we are into this year. 12% into the year, in case anyone is curious. So yeah, So I have a ludicrous amount of books on the go. Obviously, I posted my Friday read. You guys will have seen that. But right this afternoon, I was doing reading sprints over, I was doing like a reading get-together thing over on Bee's channel at Mama Needs to Read Romance. I'm one of her channel members. So she does like these channel members only live shows and stuff. And they're so much fun. She has games and questions, and it was a lot of fun. So we did that, and that's when I finished today's chapter in Meet Cute. I only have one more day of that book left, and then I'll finish that one, which is very exciting. And then I did start another book. I started reading, can never remember the name of it, my goodness, it's nothing to do with the book. Firefighter's Ranch Homecoming by Anna Grace, which was sent to me by the publisher, or not by the publisher, by the author as a ARC copy. It comes out on the 24th of February, so I'm hoping to get it done before then, but I'm going to get some reading done on this. I'm going to watch some booktube. I'm going to edit some video. I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hello friends, it is 5:20 in the evening, and I have uploaded all my videos today, and very happy about that. But it was a big video day because I had the March Mystery Madness video I wanted to get up. I'm now doing the Harlequin anticipated reads, or like the coming soon from Harlequin, and I'm doing one different imprint a day. This was kind of a last minute decision that I decided to do this week, and I'm really, really happy that I'm doing it. It's not taking me much time at all, and I'm very, very much enjoying doing them, and you guys really seem to be liking them, so I'm going to continue doing that in the future. So every month you're going to have like 12 or 11-ish days where you're going to get a whole load of like a couple videos from me a day, because I'm going to be doing these anticipated reads. But anyway, I did all that, and then I did a little bit of reading. I am 12% of the way through a Firefighter's Ranch Homecoming by Anna Grace, which is the arc that I got from the author, and I am enjoying this one so far. So it's about our main character named Beau. And Beau has come back home. This story takes place in Oregon, and he has come home to the family's ranch after the father passed away some time ago. I don't know how long ago. The father was not very well liked, and he was kind of a schemer. People associated him with like scheming and, just being a general curmudgeon, I guess, like not a very good person, to be honest. He's not missed, let's put it that way. So he left the family in a ridiculous amount of debt. There's 3 siblings in the book, so this is Beau's story. So I'm guessing it's going to be a trilogy, and that the next 2 books are going to be about the 2 other siblings, Cash and Tia. So anyway, so Beau's a firefighter. He's been out fighting wildfires in Oregon, and he's now come home to deal with this issue with the ranch. So basically, it was mortgaged to the hilt. They owe money on literally everything because of the father, all this stuff, right? So, anyway, what the 2 other siblings decided to do, because Beau wasn't available, like they tried to talk to him about it, but he kept ignoring, and he just didn't want to deal with it, right? They made the decision, this woman approached them, and she's like, hey, I would love to turn your ranch into like this events venue, like for weddings and proms and birthday parties and all these things. And, they worked a deal out together, so they're all going to be partners. And she's investing a lot of capital, like finances, into the business and all this stuff. So as the book opens up, Beau comes home and he finds that all this is happening, and he's not happy. He's like, this is not what I want to have happen, right? And the other 2 siblings are like, dude, we're not selling it. Like, it's staying in the family, which was the original goal. We're just trying to get some of this debt paid off, and this is how we're going to try and do it. So I got Missy right here with me. Anyway, you can probably see her tail. So anyway, I call it her rattlesnake tail because it's got like this, you can't see because she keeps moving, but it's got like a light circle at the top, like almost like a rattlesnake. Anyway. The problem is that now what they've run into is, because the father was so not well liked, especially in and around the area that they live in, like they were very familiar with Bruce Holiday, the father, that there have been no bookings for this event planning, or for this event space, excuse me. They had one booking for a birthday party, and then the person left a note saying, I didn't realize it was a holiday ranch property. We're not interested. So now Elena, who's our female lead, she's the event planner who they are working with. She knows Beau and her are not really friends. Like, he's been fighting her. He was fighting her right from the beginning, kind of asking all these questions and stuff like that. and, you know, not agreeing, not thinking that this is a great idea. And she goes to him because she's like, hey, we're not even friends. So if you still don't like me after I ask this question, so be it. And she's like, why are people not wanting to come? And he's like, you didn't know that we aren't very well liked in town because of Dad? And now he's agreed to help her try and fix the situation. So that's where we're at right now. Like I said, I'm 12% of the way through it. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. Also, because there are animals. Tia, the sister, she is a veterinarian and an animal lover. She has never met a creature she does not love. And in the first chapter, they're having this very serious meeting about this business thing. And there's an alpaca that presses its face up against the window like a toddler and starts making faces. Like, and there's something about a peacock or peacocks. And I'm like, I'm sold. You know, like anyone who loves animals. So I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, anyway, there's my little bit of a reading update for now. I'll try and check in with you guys later. Bye. Excuse me, but did you have something to say? You were trying to get into... Oh, look, it's Missy. Sorry for some of you, that might be a little bit close. Hey, as soon as there's a camera, Missy has to... Yes, I love you too. She's a sweetheart. Hello friends, happy Saturday. Today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And say goodbye to the Christmas tree. This is going to be coming down either later tonight or first thing tomorrow. So in other videos that you're going to see starting tomorrow on Sunday, the tree will sadly be gone. The book cart will be back in its place. We've been running into some issues over the last few days with Missy thinking that it would be fun to take the tree down with her teeth. So I just thought, let's take the temptation away from her and get rid of the tree. So sorry I didn't update anything last night. I ended up doing some reading and relaxing, and I finished a book last night, which is very exciting. I finished reading her Sexy Vegas Cowboy by Ellie Olson. I think this is my 5th or 6th book of the week. So this week's coming up, my Monday video is going to be a big one, like lots of books I'm going to have to talk about. So I'll be talking about this one as well. I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars. I really did enjoy it up until the end, and I'll talk about that in my video on Monday, of course. I do plan on finishing another book today, and that is the Meet Cute book, the one I've been reading over the past 2 weeks of all the short stories. So I will be finishing that, and I'll be talking about that one on Monday as well. So that's exciting. Today so far, it's been a busy day. It is right now almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just filmed my videos for today. The reason being is because I had to go get blood work this morning. So what happened was, and I don't think I mentioned this in my vlog yet, is that earlier this week I got notified that I have been rebooked finally for my liver biopsy. I've been sitting on this and waiting on this since December. If you guys remember, if you've been following the vlog or following me or whatever, back in December I was supposed to have my liver biopsy done. And last minute, literally I was in the procedure room talking to the surgeon. They made the call not to do it because they did not know whether or not my anatomy inside had been altered during my transplant, and could they access my liver using some of the arteries, okay? That was my understanding of it. So they had a CT scan from me with contrast where they could see everything, but it was from before my transplant, so they didn't know if anything was altered during transplant. While I was in that procedure room, like I'm laying on the table chatting it up with the nurses, the doctors are furiously calling my physicians, like my cardiologists, to get somebody on the phone to find out, can we do this? Can we gain access, basically? They didn't want to open me up to realize that they could, and when I say open me up, it is transjugular, so they're going through my neck. It's like a catheter-y type thing. I'm carrying so much anxiety for this procedure, I can't even tell you. So anyway, whether they could do it or not. So finally they decided we're not going to do it. They sent me back and I came home. And I talked with my liver doctor earlier this month or in January. And she's been trying to get in touch with my cardiologist, and he's very difficult to get in touch with because he would know for sure. He would be like, because if he doesn't know, then they were going to send me for a CT scan with contrast again, just to see if they could. Anyway, all of a sudden I get notified just a few days ago on Wednesday that it's been rebooked for this coming Thursday. So it is literally next week. There is no time for me to think about this, which is kind of good because I'm not going to be stressing about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So I go on Thursday. Like I said, I have very high anxiety for this. I'm very, very nervous about it, but I have been told that this is a one and done. Once you've had this test done once, it's not something they generally repeat unless something catastrophic happens, like unless, something horribly, horribly bad happens. And if that's the case, this is the least of your worries, kind of an idea. And they're doing it just to check the pressures on my liver, which is why it's transjugular. That's what I've been told. But I needed blood work ahead of time. So they sent me the requisition on Wednesday. My brother printed it off for me because we don't have a printer, and he printed it off at work and he brought it over to the house, which was great. I was going to go on Thursday and I got lazy. I was going to go yesterday and I got lazy, and I paid for it today. It was my own damn fault. I got there at 10:30. I didn't get seen until after 12. So I sat for well over an hour and a half waiting for blood work because, of course, they're closed tomorrow. They closed at 1 o'clock today. And they're closed on Monday because Monday here in Ontario is Family Day, which isn't necessarily a stat holiday. Like my brother, for example, is working, but most places are closed. I believe most grocery stores and stuff like that are open, but a lot of places of business, like offices, like work offices, like I said, if I was working, our office would be closed. My brother happens to be open, the place that he works. But yeah, most stuff is open, but like doctor's offices and the labs are going to be closed. So anyway, I went and got that done today. The only good thing is that I did get a bit of reading done while I was there. So this morning I have read some more of My Deadly Valentine, and I'm still on the first story, which is the one by Valerie Hansen. This is a bind up of two novellas. And I'm almost done the first one. I actually only have like a couple chapters left in the first story. And then I'll be moving on to the second story, which is exciting. And then I was going to listen to my audiobook of Detective Aunty by Uzma Jalaluddin. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. And I didn't want to put my earbud in because it was a lot of noise in there. And I wanted to make sure I heard my name when they called it. So I actually just ended up reading it on my phone because I do have the ebook out from Kindle Unlimited. So I was able to read 3 chapters of that. And then I got to the point where I started to get annoyed because I was waiting so long because they kept telling me it's going to be like a 45-minute wait. And I'm like, that was an hour ago, So, when I get to the point where I start to get a little annoyed, and I'm not angry because I know it's busy, but it's still a little frustrating. You know what I mean? So I just didn't feel like reading anymore. But what I've decided to do in terms of my reading, and I know a lot of you are like, oh, you're not going to say you're going to go down to one book at a time, because I'm not. Let's be realistic. But what I was doing is I rotate through my books, right? Now, the thing is that if I don't do a lot of reading in a certain day, or I only pick up a couple of books in a certain day from my rotation, I might not touch any of my audiobooks. And I really like doing my audiobooks. So what I've decided to do is I'll read an ebook, and then I'll read an audiobook, and then I'll read an ebook. And so I'm flipping back and forth between ebooks and audiobooks, but still have all the books on the go. But I'm just making sure to fit in audiobooks because I do want to make sure that I get to them. And I did start another book this morning. I forgot to mention that. I did start reading Babysitters on Board by Anna Martin, which is the first super special in the Babysitters Club series. So I am 5 chapters into this one. The typical books in the Babysitters Club. Sorry, I'm drinking Canada Dry Ginger Ale, so I've got the hiccups. Pardon me. Typically, the books in the Babysitters Club have 15 chapters each, which is why I'm reading them over 5 days, because you can read 3 chapters a day and you finish the book in 5 days. But the super specials end up usually having more chapters. So this one, for example, has 24 chapters. So instead, I'm doing 5 chapters a day, and then the last day, just a 4-chapter day. So that's how it's working out in my head. I'm still reading them over 5 days, and I'm enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying them. But anyway, that's all I have to update you guys for now. I will definitely pop in again later. This, of course, is day 2 of the Create Your Own Readathon weekend. Completely forgot to mention that yesterday. And my goal every day is 150 pages, and I killed it yesterday, guys. I read 270 some odd pages, I think. So yay on that one. I've surpassed yesterday's goal and pretty much today's goal, and I'm already read a bunch of pages today. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really good weekend for me for reading. But I'm just trying to keep my mind off of what's coming next week. The only good thing is that I'm finally going to get answers, and I'm finally going to be on the road to getting my life back. To figuring out what's wrong, why my liver is creating all this extra fluid, because that's what they're trying to find out from this biopsy. And hopefully, if it is what my physician thinks it is, it's a relatively straightforward fix. Although what they generally do, they don't generally do on heart transplant recipients. So that's a thing. I'm hoping we get some good answers. I'm hoping that, things start working out. I also have another procedure next week as well. So on the Wednesday, I have the tap where they get rid of the fluid. And then on the Thursday, I have the biopsy. And on Friday, I was supposed to have an angiogram. And I called the angiogram office and I was explaining it to the girl. And I said, at this point, I might as well just be impatient. Like, I'm going to be there 3 days in a row. She was laughing. She goes, no. She goes, that's way too much for you to deal with. So they rebooked that for some time in, it's early March. But I have Wednesday, my procedure, my normal procedure. Thursday, the biopsy. I get Friday off, the weekend off. And on Monday, I have to go back for an endoscope. The only good thing is that this is all getting done. You know what I mean? All the, everything's getting done. I'm hopefully going to get some answers. And then I can get on with my life and get back to proper living again. Not that this isn't living. And believe me, I am not complaining about the fact that I get to sit at home all day and read. But it would be nice to have a bit more money and not be stressed out about that. And, start getting out in society again and start feeling better. That's the big thing. And not be at the hospital all the time, for procedures and for this and for that, and to start feeling normal again, So that'll be nice. But anyway, I'm rambling, guys. I'll let you go and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello, friends. It is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought I'd pop in with a quick reading update because I just finished Meet Cute. So this is the Countdown to Valentine's Day by various authors. I just finished the last story by Nicola Yoon, and I enjoyed it. It's getting an honorable mention in my top 5. So there were 5 of the stories in here that I really enjoyed that stood out the most to me. And I'm going to talk about this more on Monday when I do my full review, but for me, when it comes to a short story, it's one that I would want to see as a longer novella or even a full-length novel, that I enjoyed it enough to know more, basically. I wish that there was more in a way. But I did enjoy this. I'm giving the entire anthology overall about 3.5 stars. But I'm going to go and do all my updates now online, update all my spreadsheets, update Goodreads, all that good stuff. And I am, of course, going to share my top 5 stories when I do my review on Monday. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you guys know that I did that I finished this. I also edited and uploaded both my videos for today, which is exciting. I have 2 videos for tomorrow. Of course, it's going to be my weekly vlog. You're going to see this video tomorrow, as well as my Harlequin Anticipated Reads video. And I realized that I have a couple videos that I want to do later in the week, like on Wednesday and Thursday. I was just talking to Garrett not long ago, and I noticed that they're calling for quite a snowstorm on Wednesday. And Wednesday's the day I'm supposed to get my procedure done, the tap. I was just talking about it in my last clip. I think what I might do is, because I'm already stressed out enough about having to go for the biopsy, and that's already going to cost a pretty penny trying to get downtown and back, and to do it twice in a week is going to be a lot, considering the cost of parking and gas and the whole 9 yards. And for the biopsy, I can't drive. I actually have to pay for an Uber, which is... Anyway. So I think what I might do is, because I've been feeling pretty good on the medication, is I'm going to take a chance, and I think I'm going to call on Monday, and I'm going to cancel my appointment for Wednesday for the procedure, and I'm going to book it for the following week. So now I know I've got the endoscope on Monday at the hospital. But if I go on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think I might even push it to the following week, give it an extra week. I think I'll be okay. You know what I mean? And if it, at least I know it's booked, and I've always been okay once it's booked. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to make that executive decision because they're calling for quite a bit of snow. Now, my luck is I'm going to cancel it and we're not going to get any snow. But for me, it's more the stress of having to go downtown twice. I mean, if it was just for something simple, if I just had to go down for an echocardiogram or something like that, but the fact that it's this biopsy, the anxiety is insane. And I mean, I've been through a heart transplant. I've done the biopsies before. I've done the cardiac biopsies before. This should not be a big deal, but it is, because I've heard from a lot of people that it's quite uncomfortable afterward. You've got residual pain in your side and stuff like that. And that's not anything I experienced with the cardiac biopsies. It was like kind of just one and done, and you're like, you know, like, oh, it hurt while you were getting it done, and you might have had some more pain that night, like, you know, take a couple Tylenol, but by the next day you're fine. But they say up to a week it can be uncomfortable. So anyway, back to video stuff. The whole reason I mention that is because I might go ahead. Now on Thursday, I was supposed to do I had booked, I had scheduled, if you will, to do my crafty video, and I was going to film it that day. I think I'm going to hold off one more month, you guys. I think I'll start that in March or something. I don't want to film it too early. That's why. Maybe if I don't go on Wednesday, maybe I'll do it then. I haven't decided yet. But I am going to film a couple... I'm going to film my Harlequin, like, coming soon anticipated reads videos for those 2 days, for the Wednesday and Thursday for sure. I'm going to film those early. I think I'm going to film them on Monday or Tuesday. And I know you guys are like, don't worry about the videos, Sarah. But I really enjoy this. This brings me comfort. This brings me joy. This takes away the anxiety. It gives me something else to focus on. Does that make sense? So for me, it's a good thing that I'm thinking about these kind of things. And then I can, like, leave Thursday clear, because Thursday I'm going to be... And you know what? You may or may not get a video from me at all on Friday, because I just might not be feeling well enough to do anything the day after the thing. So we shall see how that goes. But anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will check in with you guys again later. Bye. Morning, BookTube. Happy Sunday. It's before 8 a.m. and I am sitting here. I'm about to have some coffee and edit the vlog, and I realized I didn't end the vlog yesterday. So my apologies. I did some reading last night, but I didn't finish anything. I actually held off finishing a book. I have one chapter in the epilogue left of She Dreamed of a Cowboy by Joanna Sims. Because I thought, let's give myself at least, obviously, one book for next week, or for this week coming. But anyway, guys, this is first thing in the morning before showering, yeah, it's pretty. But I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get the vlog edited. So Missy just jumped up here to join me for Missy mornings with Moo, if you will. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching the vlog. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.